All right. Uh, my name is Alan C. I'm the CEO of New Kingdom Entertainment. This is my podcast, Be Quiet, Grown Folks is Talking. Uh, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I don't know everything, but I do know a lot of things. And I am definitely a work in progress. Today, we're going to go over some things with sports and with Yeezy situation and Kyrie situation. We're gonna have a discussion with that. And I have a gentleman that's I don't know if you can't hardly see him, but
I need some light.
but
I need some light. I'm that black.
Yeah, you kind of dark up in there. This is a young man that I met over 20 years ago. I've known his mother all my life. I grew up with his mother. My company, New Kingdom Entertainment, and my record label, which is really just a production company, would not exist if it wasn't for this young man right here. Because I started him. He was my first artist, and like I said, I've known him a good part of his life. I watched him grow up, and like I said, full disclosure, he used to be he used to be one of my artists on my label. And we were discussing, it's so funny, I was about to do this segment and he called me and was talking about the same thing. And I said, yo, so let's sit down, let's chop it up. Let's watch this video that I'm about to watch. Just touch on some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. And then we're gonna have a nice discussion. So this is Wayne Braska. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's good? First of all, let me give Mr. Alan Cole, you know what I mean? Yo, for everything that we've been doing music-wise and stuff, and a lot of music. Me and this dude got crazy history. So I just want to give you your flowers, man. Working hard behind the scenes, trying to put myself and the other artists on New Kingdom, put us on music out there, and everything we doing. You know what I mean? So big shout out to you. Remember we had the leather jackets and shit with the leather sleeves and the logo.
Yo, you still got yours?
And all that with our name on it.
You still got yours?
Nah.
You know what? My brother got one. He said he got one. He just got to have it refurbished, like it frayed on the sleeves and stuff like that. I had two of them, and I have no idea where they're at. Them jackets was hot.
Somebody stole mine, I think.
Word.
So somebody's walking around jacket that say Wayne Braska on it.
No doubt. Hey, man, you never know. You might see it one day on auction or something like that. Who knows what the future will bring?
I'm gonna need it back. That's history right there. You know what I mean? But yeah,
no doubt.
Big shout out New Kingdom Records. You already know. You know how grown folks is talking. You already know this. But yeah, you just Wayne Braska, the brand Braska. You already know. Like I don't know, a couple of viral videos here and there. That's it. Here and there, do some corporate editing for different companies. That's it. Real boring stuff. Go to college. If you don't, get a trade. Learn a trade. Go to trade school. Do something like that for real. Man. But yeah, let's get into it.
Before I hit you up, I was downloading this video and your video popped up. Pogo stick. That's still out there. It pops up on my own.
I was trying to send that to you.
I guess it would.
Send that to me.
Oh, you don't have it? Well, you can go to
me so I can read.
Okay, I'll send it to you. I will. And let me tell you something. For what it was and how long ago we did it, still don't look that bad. And I try to tell people all the time that something's wrong with my sound and I'm getting too much feedback. I don't know why. I hope that don't come through after the recording. But just because it's old to you and because you did it, don't mean that it's old. Like that, that's still new music to a lot of people that ain't never heard it.
Yeah. Like if it's old to us, but it's new to a lot of people. A lot of people ain't hear that.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna get into this video. This is a gentleman. He has a show called Indisputable. His name is Dr. Richie, and Indisputable is the fastest growing show in the country. He's a part of the TYT network, Young Turk network, and he's doing his thing, and he's pro-black. I don't care. When you look at this video, I don't care what you get out of it. I don't care what you say. This man is seriously pro-black, and he stands on everything that he says, 10 toes down with his chest out. He be going after people, and when he go after people, shit happen. He does a lot of those segments. A lot of his segments is about police brutality, about police brutalizing people and black folks and everything. That's most of his content. So this man is pro-black, because when you see that some people going to say, because he's talking to this white man and things that he's saying, they're going to say, oh, you're not really black, because he's not standing behind that nonsense. He's standing on facts, on real talk. So with that being said, let me play this video, and then we'll talk about it at the end and some other things. Let's do it.
To the bullpen. My dear brother and friend David Pakman of the David Pakman Show is on this show. National broadcaster and extraordinary individual. David, thank you for being on the show. How are you?
My pleasure. I'm so glad to be here.
All right. We're going to chop it up about a couple of items, but let me start with what we have seen lately, this anti-Jewish rhetoric spewed by Kanye West, eaten up by individuals since, including white supremacists, who are completely antithetical to the progress of anybody but white people and white supremacy. I don't want to presume what you feel about these elements, so I wanted to bring you on the show, allow you to express your sentiment, and let's talk about it openly. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not surprising that such a prominent public figure repeating just about every common and typical anti-Semitic trope and stereotype is being met with a stunning amount of support. If you look at the YouTube comments on my channel, when I've talked about the things that Kanye West has said, there's a shocking number of people who go, listen, David, he's just right. You know, he's just speaking the truth. And he's finally saying the things that the very Jewish media he criticizes don't allow to be said, which is just sort of it's a repetition, it's a recycling of the very tropes themselves. So similar to, I don't really think Donald Trump created more racism or xenophobia. I think he used the language that made people that believed a lot of this stuff more comfortable admitting it publicly. I think it's a similar thing with Kanye, but I do think to some degree there are folks who are just Kanye fans. They didn't think much about Jews one way or the other, who are only hearing this and saying, I don't know, maybe he is making some good points. So he actually may be convincing some people with some of this stuff.
David, you bring up a good point, and every time I've done a story where I've highlighted the coalition between Jews and civil rights leaders, where I talked about the insanity of Kanye West and his comments and commentary, and how really people that say they're woke are identifying with white supremacy now because Kanye said it. Every time I bring that up, go to the comment section, I get the same thing. I get people saying that I'm not black anymore, or somehow I'm contrary to progress of the black community. And I find it really interesting because it was Kanye West who said that slavery was a choice. It was Kanye West who said George Floyd killed himself. It was Kanye West who wore a White Lives Matter shirt and stood next to the #1 black white supremacist, Candace Owens, who refuses to wear a Black Lives Matter shirt. It was him that did these things in contradiction to his own blackness and in contradiction to the community that first validated him. Let's be very clear. White America would not know who Kanye West was without Black America validating him first. We did that for him. And he has lived a life contrary now, currently, opposite of that sentiment and that approval that we gave him. So you hear this, you see what's happening, you see people are more emboldened, all right, standing on bridges, etc. Where do you think this goes?
I don't know where it goes. And the reason I say that is there is a soft anti-Semitism that exists. That's kind of the term I use, where there are folks who will say, yeah, I've heard the stereotypes, but at the end of the day, Jews are a privileged population in America, and so we don't really need to worry about it. Plus, a lot of these stereotypes are kind of positive. You know, they sound like kind of pretty good things. So there is, unfortunately, I mean, listen, the hard right white supremacists, we know their view, but we have this other layer, which is this softer anti-Semitism that I find problematic as well, because a lot of folks don't know necessarily, well, a lot of those stereotypes that sound kind of okay, I'd love people to say, hey, we're good at business. That sounds good. But what they don't understand are the discriminatory historical realities that led to that stereotype, the fact that it sounds positive, but what they're really saying is there is a concerted conspiratorial effort among Jews to control an industry. There's a lot of other stuff wrapped up in it, and a lot of people just don't understand that. In their defense, everybody's busy living their lives, right? They're not necessarily bad people because they don't know this stuff, but the soft anti-Semitism can be very recalcitrant.
You know, it was Dr. King who said we should judge people based on the content of their character. There are individuals I am allied with because of their individual values. I understand that there are individuals inside of that group that may be completely contrary to my values. That goes for every demographic, including the Jewish demographic. There are those who are absolutely for me. There are those who may not be. But we even find that in the movement for Black Lives. We found that during the time of Dr. King. My college students were shocked when I told them less than 10% of churches would even allow Dr. King to speak at their churches. Only 6% of America was actually in support of Dr. King based on a survey done by NBC when he was living. So the curated Dr. King we have today, the more digestible Dr. King we have today, was not a digestible individual back then, according to the sentiment of the majority of Americans, and even the majority of preachers who would not allow him, black preachers in particular, who would not allow him to step foot in their church. But that doesn't mean that I'm now anti-black people or anti-black church or anti-this or anti-that. I'm still connecting with people based on values and based on the content of their character. How do you think we lost this, David, at some point?
You know, I don't know. And again, like you say, every demographic group in the United States has examples of everything. And one of the things that I am sort of very disappointed by and upset by is what was historically a really important alliance between Jewish folks and black folks in the United States that has to a little bit of a degree been ruptured because of some anti-Semitism within the black community. And I told the story on my show, the famous Mississippi burning story, yep, where 3 people were killed. 2 of the 3 people were Jewish folks from New York City who understood the goals here are so similar between our groups of people. The historical circumstances have similarities, although they are not by any means the same. There are important value similarities where we should be allied here rather than butting heads. And it's disappointing to see that in certain enclaves that has completely broken down.
You know, I finished doctoral studies at Clark Atlanta University. Clark Atlanta University has a connection to W.E.B. Du Bois. And we've always considered him to be one of our strong black scholars. Obviously, he was a black intellectual, but he also understood the necessity of black progress in America. And so he created coalitions with Jewish Americans. And those coalitions were very strong, including the NAACP, which was a Jewish black coalition initially in the foundation of it. But he also received criticism from people like Marcus Garvey. He received criticism from others who were for progress but did not like his ideology. But I do find it quite interesting that today we can actually study both ideologies, both of these men as individuals as well as leaders of a particular movement, and appreciate what they brought to the table while understanding we may not agree with every element they subscribe to. That nuance doesn't exist in this era as it did back then or in the context of history. Do you agree?
I completely agree. And the other part of this that I think is important, and this is particularly relevant in the era of MAGA, and this is not exactly what you're talking about, but it's another layer. There's a reflexive instinct by some to say, this isn't this whole Kanye thing. It's not about anti-Semitism. It's about mental illness. He says he's not taking the pills that a Jewish doctor told him to take. This is mental illness, plain and simple. And it's really important not to see these things as either or one or the other. There's lots of mental illness and mentally ill individuals who have good or bad ideas, who have inclusive or discriminatory ideas. And also, there is anti-Semitism and other types of racism and xenophobia that has nothing to do with mental illness, or it might overlap with it. And one of the other concerns when you talk about seeing people as individuals and evaluating the things they say, you don't have to ignore the content of what they say because there may be a mental illness component. And that's another thing that is unfortunately being used by some to sort of not necessarily excuse, but diminish the importance of the content of what Kanye has been saying.
You know, we have to take things based on its impact. That's literally how we respond as a societal construct. This has great impact. Freedom of speech. Let's talk about that before we have to end this interview. Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence or freedom from consequence. Somehow, either Kanye or the people who support Kanye, and it is bigger than Kanye, I'm just utilizing this as a microcosm. Why would Kanye escape the cause and effect relationship of freedom of speech? Yes, but it does not mean freedom from consequence. We all have that dynamic connected to us. Anything we offer for the public will either be criticized or it will be supported. That's how this works. What are your thoughts about this sentiment now? A lot of it is pushed from the conservatives that suggest, and some flat out say, freedom of speech should mean freedom from consequence.
Yeah, I mean, that's not new. That's an old trope, which is they most loudly talk about freedom of speech, but they want there to be no consequences to them using that freedom of speech, which they claim someone else, I guess the left or Democrats, are trying to take away from them. There are absolutely consequences to speech, assuming that they are not a violation of one's First Amendment rights, valid, should be expected, part of the discourse and the dialogue that exists. One of the really unfortunate things that's happening with the Kanye situation is the fact that his outrageous speech is having consequences, is being used to say, look, he's right. He said this stuff, and now the very Jewish media he attacked is silencing him. And that can be very difficult to escape the bubble of, and it's very damaging that that's taking place.
Earlier today, I saw this on social media. Tucker Carlson flat out saying that hate speech does not actually exist. Now, remember, he's an ally now of Kanye West. Kanye West, I think, is more strategic than most people give him credit for because he goes out of his way, David, to not offend racist white people. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. And I don't know whether these are ideas that we've heard over the last 3 weeks from Kanye that he stumbled upon himself, or whether people have been suggesting or giving him some of this material. But the material is aligning absolutely perfectly with what a lot of those racist folks already believe. And much like with Trump, they heard a little kernel of something that sounded pretty good. They're hearing it from Kanye right now.
David, always a pleasure, dear brother, talking to you. I appreciate what you continue to do in your advocacy and your platforms. For those who may be living under, know how to check out your shows, please tell them how they can do so.
Yeah, just my website's the central place, davidpakman.com.
Thank you, my friend. Until next time.
Thank you.
All right, I had to turn my mic back on. So you watched that video just now with me, and those are two very intelligent people talking about some real shit and some facts and some history. Now, I know most people won't be able to understand everything they were talking about, but I would think they would at least understand what he said at the end. Because it seems to me like people don't get it, that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences of your speech. I don't understand how people don't get that. Yes, there's freedom of speech, but there's consequences behind what you say. And that's like I said with him, and he didn't talk about Kyrie because this is early in the week. They said what they said. With Ye, he said what he said. Adidas said what they said. I don't see the problem with it. Same thing right now with Kyrie. Kyrie said what he said. NBA said what they said. Nike said what they said. I don't see the problem with it. But that's just my feeling on it, and I'm going to go into some more of it, because another thing he said at the end there, and which I didn't even realize till I seen this, and he said that Kanye has not said anything foul about white folks. He ain't said nothing foul about white folks. And you can't say him saying shit about Jews is saying, because he claimed Jews is us. We Jews. Jews are black. So the only people you said something foul about is, according to you, black folks. But let me hear how your feelings about it, and how you see it. Go ahead. You muted. You must be. I mute. You know what? I'm sorry. I muted you. I'm sorry. I muted you. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yes. So no, that David dude, he hit a lot of points in that interview. You know, like you said, freedom of speech, its consequences that come with it from what you say. Freedom of speech is just basically what you and I are doing right now, or if we're outside, want to fucking say outside of somebody else's platform. You can't go on these platforms, on these media, expecting them not to edit out or certain things that you mean. So that's freedom of speech is thing. You know what I mean? And with the whole Kanye, Kyrie situation, I'm looking at this is Kanye. You know what I mean? One of the artists of all time. That's what he's gonna go down as. He's a musical genius and stuff. He's been doing lately. His personal issues he's going through, and all of that stuff, his mental health and whatnot. I mean, it's just deep. We don't know what's in his head. You know what I mean? And that's himself. Sometimes you could just tell he doesn't articulate things he really wants to. Like a lot of us, we know how we want to say something and to come out, but it just doesn't come out when we start to speak. You know what I mean? And
I agree.
A lot of us have that. We have that problem. You know what I mean? And I think he really has that problem too. So when he's on medicine, you know what I mean? He's doing these different shows, liquor or whatever. You know what I mean? All of that stuff factors in, and then he's going through what he's seeing his kids or whatever situation's going on there. That's emotional rage and all that. Gotta pin that on somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all these people, like that dude mentioned, he said his doctor is Jewish. Made about them or whatever was stemming from him hating and giving him these meds to, do whatever they're supposed to. Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. The whole Kyrie situation, we talked about that before. You said like Kyrie was this a bandwagon? He just jumped on the bandwagon and made some posts.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I agree with you on that, because Kyrie is he's an intelligent man, and I just think he acted on emotion as well. We all act, you know what I mean? And I think he just seen something. He probably got that clip somebody, and he seen it and was like, I'm posting this. You know what I mean? That. But there's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of emotions going on right now. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You like you pretty much covered part of it, and it's like dude said, like part of this is like just people hopping on the bed, not really doing their homework. They're not really doing no research. And damn, right now I can't get us both on here at the same time for some reason. But they're not doing their research, and yeah, it's just people just repeating shit that they heard. But my thing is I just seen another thing. I just seen that people say like they want to boycott the NBA now because of Kyrie, and I'm like, first of all, Kanye and Kyrie have both apologized. Kyrie said he wasn't going to apologize at first, but he did. And my thing is, if y'all were right, if y'all really believe what y'all said, and y'all really believe y'all was right, and y'all really believed it, what y'all apologize for? I'm mad that they apologized after you said that shit. You should have stood on it. That's my thing. That's why don't come to me with that boycott the NBA's bullshit. Because where was that energy when the NFL did what they did to the cap? I don't understand.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like we picked a hell of a things to try to defend. And like I said, I thought I coined the word Negro splain. I thought I made that up. I thought that was some shit, the new shit. I coined that, and I looked it up. I found out that's not new. No, I didn't. I thought I did. Negro splaining. I thought when I made that up, I made that up. I guess I saw it somewhere or something. I don't know if I made it up or what, but it's been out there. I looked it up, and I looked it up because I was gonna do a copyright on that.
That's crazy though. It sounds like trademark that word.
Yeah. So, and I find there's another gentleman, Dr. Boyce Brothers. He's an intelligent dude, and I don't understand. One minute he defends Kanye. He says he don't agree with what Kanye said, but he defends that Kanye said it. I'm saying, okay, that sounds like some Negro splaining. because you're trying to explain something that doesn't make sense. It's like cop splaining, because that's where I got it from. Cop splaining, when the cops come on you, they tell you a whole bunch of shit that it don't make no sense, and it ain't real laws. They just making shit up as they go. That's cop splaining. And this Negro splaining, where every time you turn around, you got a new excuse for why he said what he said. Look, I don't know what he said either. I'm like you. I really don't know what's on his mind. I really don't understand what he's doing or what he's trying to accomplish. Because if he was just trying to get out his contracts, there was a better way to go about it. Because guess what? He lost $1.5 billion. And at first I was like, so what? He could get that money back. But that's not guaranteed. If he had kept his mouth shut, that was guaranteed money. But I ain't saying that he should have kept his mouth shut to get that money. But if you're going to say something, make it make sense and stand on it. And if you want me, why should I stand up for you and you won't stand up for yourself?
Both of them, like how you were saying, how they say stuff, that they stand on that first, and then this is going to backtrack to emotions again. Think of this, as a relationship with somebody, right? You love that person. You're getting a heated argument, hateful, harmful shit towards each other because you're mad at each other, right?
Yeah.
Whatever involved too, picking sides or whatever, but then what's going to happen over time or whatever? One of y'all going to wind up apologizing, right? And going back. Even though you're in things, because a lot of stuff been said, but you're going to backtrack and just apologize. You might have been in the wrong in some areas or whatever. And I think in Kyrie's defense, that's what it is too. I think they acting again. We're going back, moving on emotions. A lot of things going on in their lives and stuff like that. We all know the Kanye situation. We talked about that when he didn't want to take the shots and stuff like that. He got KD to come to the Nets and he refused to get the shot. And, you know, we know this. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. All of that's on the back of his head, too. Players talking behind his back or saying certain things that we don't know what's going on in his head when he, or however way he found whatever he post-spended by the NBA. You know, people saying, you know, they want to boycott the NBA. That's on you. Whatever helps them sleep better at night. Yeah, do what I need to do. My thing on this whole, what the hell, the word anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic.
It's like a person who's anti-Semitic is like culture of families. And they got the Jews in there, and it all, I can't pronounce that number, but Afro. But you and I are Afro. That's Afro, right? That's what we
Afro,
are, right?
Yeah, we're Afro American, African Americans, Afro Americans, pretty much the same.
Right. So if anybody said against like the black community or blacks, they should be hit. How many times had that happened to us? People coming at us of other races. They send out an apology. These companies, like Gucci, painted black faces on their models or whatever, blah blah blah. Everybody goes crazy. All right, they issue an apology.
Yeah, because they want them dollars. Because they want them dollars. And guess what? Niggas went right back to. Excuse me. I don't use that kind of language.
You're right, but I'm just saying, nobody ever said that was anti-Semitic or them doing that, or nobody said
anti-black. They didn't. They went right back to for a second. They had more to say about Floyd Mayweather wearing Gucci than they had about Gucci. And guess what? They went right back to buying it and wearing it. Okay. So this is my thing about that. It's like y'all not gonna really do nothing. Cut it out. How many times have we were supposed to be boycotting things and it never happened? And if we actually did do it, it would work.
It would work.
But we not, because you're gonna have some niggas gonna say, like Floyd Mayweather says, no, I'm wearing Gucci. I like it. I can afford it. I'm wearing it. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas do, what the rest of y'all niggas doing.
Right. So like I said, but
see, Kanye would do something like that, because he basically did do that. He said, I think white lives matter, so I'm going to wear this T-shirt. Forget that. I know it lines up with how feminists feel and look.
And I'm not defending him or any black person, anybody who wears a white lie. I don't care. That's it. But anyway, with him, and again, not defending him or whatever, but people really look at it. That girl in it. I look at it, this man's wife or ex-wife. But then they go, they separated, divorce. Okay, cool. He has his kids are half. So he could be saying their lives matter because they're half white too. So in respect of that, well, you got to be like, yeah, he's right.
Well, I get that but you know what Jay said to him too, right? You know what Jay said to him, right?
What did he say?
They said your children are half black too.
Half and half.
And to stand next to it was. I'm gonna tell you, for me, it wasn't so much him wearing that shirt, other than him standing next to Candace Owens. Like that shit is unforgivable, bro.
I don't like
Candace Owens.
I'm being honest. Like I don't care for politics, and I already know her situation, us at all or whatever. I don't even care about none of that. I didn't get offended by it. Who cares? It's letters on the shirt. Let's go back to the T-shirts that was supposed to matter for us. Shirts. You wear one of these shirts. If I put one of those shirts on,
Let me tell you something about that. 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 Let me tell you
on, right? Big Black Lives Matter t-shirts on, and I go to the black neighborhood, I'm liable to get killed because I'm not from there. And that don't make no sense to me as black people. We can't even go because who are you? What are walking because I'm just walking. Why is it the product? Like, you know what I mean? That's my only
But you know what? That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother, and I agree with you. I agree with you about that because we need to do a whole lot better.
We do.
But you have to also look at the fact is that shit is not happening in a vacuum. There's a lot of social economic things that make that happen. And I'm going to tell you why that is like it is and why it's by design and why the powers that be knew it and designed it that way. It's the same thing when you put rats in a bag.
Right.
You put rats in a bag, you know what happens, right?
Fighting each other. So they're trying to get out.
Yeah, they'll kill each other. They will kill each other. They will eat each other alive.
Exactly.
So it's no different with people. When you put a bunch of people, poor people, in the same neighborhood, they're going to eat each other alive because there's nowhere for them to go, nothing for them to do. That's why you're supposed to, and there's scientific facts to this, that you're supposed to mix neighborhoods. You're supposed to have poor, middle class, and poor. You're supposed to have rich, middle class, and poor people in the same neighborhood. That way they can feed off of each other. They can help each other. And that's what created a neighborhood. And then also, tell me this. What black neighborhood you know has the 4 pillars to being an independent neighborhood, to really being a community? You know what the 4 pillars are?
None of them. Yeah, none of them do. None of them do.
Exactly. Not one black community in this country has the 4 pillars. They don't have a bank. They don't have a hospital. They don't have a school, and they don't have grocery stores.
Nope.
Those are the 4 pillars, and that's why Jews are where they're at, and why we're where we're at. So we need to stop with the bullshit, and instead of being jealous of them and having a problem, we need to emulate them motherfuckers. Because, and you know why they have what they have? Because they were discriminated against so much. They had to have their own, because there's a lot of countries, a lot of places, Jews were not allowed to buy shit, to own shit, to do any kind of business or nothing.
Right.
And that's why it's in their culture. It's in their culture to be educated, to be business wise, and to help each other. I think it's something in their culture where they have to help each other 7 times. Like your family member, you have to help them get into business 7 times.
That's what's up.
They have to be allowed to fail. We don't have nothing. See, we don't have our culture. Even though, listen, don't get me wrong, I love our culture, and people don't even respect the culture. Hip hop is our culture. Our culture changes from years to years. Like in years ago, when we first became out of slaves, we had the African drums, we had the Geechees and people, you know, that just came out of slaves. Then we had ragtime, then we had bebop, and then we had jazz, and then, you know, that's how we make our culture. We define culture in this world. We make culture. We were the first culture, and we are the last culture right now. Do you know hip hop is taking over the world? The whole world is becoming the hip hop culture. Hip hop makes so much money, it ain't even funny. That's why you say they exploited us. Yes, they did, but they also helped us turn a genre into a worldwide moneymaker.
Yeah.
But yet we gonna shit on it. It's all right. It's all right when we taking that money from them. When we getting that dough. But then the minute we think we ain't getting enough, or we feel like we being shit on, we want to jump on them. One minute we say we should be doing for self, and next minute you want to blame everything that's happening to you on somebody else. I can't get with that. I don't give a fuck. Even though I know white people can be very evil, white people don't make nothing. They destroy. They take shit and they destroy what they can't take. That's what Anglo-Saxons do. We know this. That's what Caucasians do. And if you're talking about the Ashkenazi Jews, I can understand you feeling that way, but they're not the only Jews. See, that's another issue.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
There's so many other Jews. Now you claim we're original Jews, not the American black man. You could say that if you was African. You could say that you original Jews, because they do have African Jews that are genetically related to the original people of Israel. That's a proven fact.
Right.
Most of the black people in this country that has any Jewish blood in them, they have Ashkenazi Jewish blood, and that's not really Jew. They're not really Jews. They turn to Jews. They're converts. They're converts to Judaism. They're not really Jews. And see, people don't even know that distinction. Right now, when I'm telling you, the average Negro on the street does not have a clue about what I'm talking about right now. They don't have a clue.
Right.
And that's what we was talking about earlier about. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Read some shit. Reading is fundamental, man. Reading is fundamental.
It is.
That's just my take on it. And my take on it is, yo, don't ask me to stand up for you if you don't stand up for yourself. And at this point, both of them Negroes apologize. So come on, man. I'm not boycotting nothing. I'm not doing jack.
It was just emotional rage on both of their parts.
Yeah, and that money, and when that money started getting funny, they woke up.
Yeah.
They came back to their senses.
Right.
So am I supposed to respect that? Am I supposed to really, am I supposed to respect that? Because
no. As
let me ask you something. With our situation, don't you think we could have went farther and still could go farther in music business if I was ready to do that, kill 'em nigga die slow music? If I was willing to do that kind of music, that trap music, that drill music, that gangster rap music.
I think I was talking with Kanye, and I was like, what if we did that? Like, the killing beat music. And I said the sad part is the label probably, mainly because another company would have gave Al that bag. So we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna and then we're gonna program them, the people who's listening, to actually kill each other out. That's what's going on in today's rap music, yo. And people don't realize that shit. But I mean, I'm glad you didn't do that, and we just stuck to stuff to do. Just making fucking music. You know what I mean? And from whenever, a long time ago, but you held your ground, master. Held your ground. You know what I mean? It's not like we was out there like struggling. We could have used that off our morals. You had morals. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, you remember I said from the beginning we was not going to be bending over. We were not doing. I was not going to do that. I was not going to sell my soul.
Everything he was doing, especially you was doing, you know what I'm saying, was your own pockets and shit like that. You know what I mean? Going to Obi-Wan Studios and shit like that. You know what I mean? Went to PA and all that. You know what I mean? When you, how they say, you didn't sell your soul to be a part of the bullshit, to be a part of the circus.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think about that so sometimes, and I think about the fact that right now, if I wanted to, I could start a conservative website and start shitting on black people and get paid, like Jason Whitlock.
Oh, you can't.
You know that fat excuse me. You know that fat black dude, Jason Whitlock. He's another clown. Like I'm like, you got so many intelligent people. Like I just like Dr. Richie. Like what you just heard right now isn't nothing, man. If you follow this man, you're gonna like I feel like you can listen to some people and get dumb. Get dumber. The longer you listen to him, the dumber you get. But this man is just opposite. The more you listen to him, the smarter you get. You start to hear things that you've never heard before and realize things, and makes you like. This is how I am. If I hear something that don't seem quite right, the very next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Google it, and I'm gonna go down at least 4 or 5 posts and see which ones jive. Like if I get 4 posts that say one thing and 1 post that says another, I'm gonna ignore the one that says something else, and I'm gonna go with the 4 that said the same thing, because more than likely that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. People will go with one post, like Candace Owen. I seen a show where she was this black dude, and he was kind of funny too, because he was a BLM. I don't trust none of them BLM niggas. Not the movement. I said it again. Not the movement. I don't trust the people, because they all were scammers. None of them ever met with the people. The people, Brianna and them that got hurt, the people that got hurt, George Floyd, they never met with none of them. But y'all Black Lives Matter, and y'all to meet with none of them families. None of them families got any of that money, that $20 million. Okay, so if you part of that organization, I'm not really feeling you to Jump Street. And he was talking to Candace Owen, but he checked Candace Owen because Candace Owen was saying something, and he said, "You talking about somebody, one dude that wrote a book? You quoting one dude that said what you're saying?" He said, "There's so much information that contradicts what you're saying." She said, "No, that's the truth. That I wrote. It was in the book." He said, "Yeah, in one book. In one book." He said that was in one book. And that's just like the thing that Kyrie Irving posted. That's one video that said all that crazy mess that he said. One video. There's 10 other videos that will say the opposite of what that one video said. But you say, he kept on saying to that reporter, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't like that part. That reporter did go a little too far. I'm gonna give it to him. I'm glad he did handle that report like that, but not for the reasons that he handled him like that. He basically was telling that reporter, "I said what I said, I did what I did, and it is what it is. I ain't got to explain it."
What it is, right?
But the reporter said, "You're promoting." He says, "No, I'm not." She said, "But you posted it." He said, "Yeah, so I posted it." He didn't understand. I don't think he understood in that moment that nigga. Ooh,
you posted it, man. You co-signed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's to me like things got to make sense. Things got to make sense. Like
I think you got to look at it. Somebody like probably only, or maybe his wife knows the real, true, honest answer, and why he'll probably tell himself he was probably emotional. Who knows? With everything that, especially with us, the Black community, things going on with his career and frustration, all that shit building up on the court, off the court. You know what I mean? And he's probably just seeing it and just acting on emotion and go, "Yo, you know what? Boom."
Yo, I agree with you. And I say this all the time. I tell my man, I'm going to say it to you, and I'm going to say it to the audience, the little bit of audience that I got. Black man can't afford to be emotional. We can't afford it. Because it's going to be taken out of context. They're going to look at us as, hey, we're too loud, we're angry. If we're too passionate, we're emotional. We need to calm down, quiet down, calm down. Yo, I was at a cookout, and me and the guys was talking about something. We was talking about the fact that all my life, and that's another thing, we share wrong information. All my life, I was told that I had to have ID. That if I was stopped by a cop in the street and I didn't have ID, he could lock me up.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's not true, right?
New York, hell yeah.
No, it's not true. No, it's not true. It's not true, though. That's not true.
I never had that.
All right. Now, a cop could do it, but it's not legal if he does. First of all, if you didn't commit a crime, he ain't got no business asking you who you are. He ain't got no business stopping you. He ain't got no business talking to you. And if he does say something to you, you ain't committed a crime. You keep walking away. You got a lot of cops that think that because they speak to you, that you have to speak back to them. That's a violation of your Fifth Amendment. If he demands ID and you ain't committed a crime, that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment. Now, all my life, niggas been telling me you got to have an ID. You got to have an ID. No, you don't. No, you don't. Legally, no, you don't. Okay, so this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. And damn, I lost my train of thought why I brought that
Misinformation.
up.
Yeah, misinformation.
Well, but I brought that up for a specific reason, and was basically trying to say that we don't know our rights, we don't know the rules, and a lot of times we don't understand the game. And I understand them brothers had something to say, but when it's going to affect your money, do you know how many people probably lost jobs and lost work because of Kanye? What Kanye did? He probably screwed up a whole lot of people's Christmas because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, couldn't wait.
Probably.
And the same thing with Kyrie. The Nets is trying to trade him right now. Nobody wants him. And that's crazy. He's the best. He's one of the best players in the league. But you know why? Because you can potentially mess up the money. Because people, just like Nike drop them, I guarantee you, a lot of other people are going to drop them. I guarantee you. See, black people, yeah, you forget, you're only 25% of this population. Now, they say that 40% of the people that watch the NBA basketball is black people. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. But still, that's 60% of other people that might not come to them games because of what he said.
Because what he said.
So you think they want to lose that revenue? You think they want to even chance it? You think they? And see, it's not personal. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not really personal. It's business. How you gonna tell people? How you gonna tell people what to do with their business? Right. And how you gonna get mad at them when they don't want to do business with you no more? Like Joey Crack says, the price yesterday ain't the price today. The deal yesterday ain't the deal today.
Right.
I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. And with that, that's just I don't know if you have anything more to say on the subject or any of the subject, but I'm about done.
I hope they get it. Now I'm praying for those brothers, man. Things is going the direction that they wanted to go. Me, like I'm just more concerned about our community, us. That video played earlier, that dude hit a good point with privileged people in America and saying, the Jewish is one of those, and we're not. I don't care what nobody say, we're not. Well, we gave you Black Lives Matter. Yeah, you gave us. That's like giving a baby a pacifier and saying, okay, here's your pacifier, shut the hell up while we watch, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? We, like I said, we don't have those 4 pillars, and as much money as we make and we generate, that should be a freaking hospital, school. You know what I mean? And all in our own freaking neighborhood, yo. We should have that.
Picture you going in a Chinese neighborhood and opening up a restaurant. Picture that shit happen. Or you go in a Russian neighborhood.
I was just saying, it's like you go in our hood, it's Akadak owns this.
Everything.
The Chinese stores in the hood. All these hoods, they don't live in their hoods. They go to nice houses at the end of the day, but they take our money. They trust.
Yep.
Yo, I'm a quarter short. Can I? No, get the hell out of here. You can't. I'm a quarter short. Take our money. So I'm saying to us, black folks, us. We got bread. Why we on the corner, blah, 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 fix that shit up? Why we can't make that into a store or something like that? Stuff with our money. We too busy spending it on these other companies and these brands that don't.
Damn, you brought up an excellent subject, because I looked it up. Listen, I looked it up. You know that there's a major city, Mississippi, Jacksonville, Mississippi, don't have water.
Jackson?
Yeah. Jacksonville, Mississippi don't have water.
2022, they don't got water.
It's 85% black.
That's probably why.
Now, I looked it up and seen how much money it would take to make sure that them black folks in that city got water.
How much was it?
Not that much. It's about 7 billion, maybe.
7 billion?
7 billion. That's not that much money. And
we got
that much money. So no, but I'm saying Forget the country. I'm talking about black folks.
No. I'm just saying $7 billion isn't a lot of money to this country that sends $7 to when something happens to another country just because.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is we have enough money to do it. So why didn't black folks get together, go to Jacksonville, fix the water situation, and then sue the government for the money? Why do we have to wait till the government does it? Why? Same thing in Flint, Michigan. Why they still, to this day, still their water and ain't probably too much of a difference to fix this shit. Mm-hmm. We could do that. The churches, black churches could have got together and did that.
That's crazy.
But we don't take care of our own. We sitting up here, we want to talk all this shit about them, but when something happens, we wait for them to come in and fix it. Yep. Why? See, so that's my don't talk of that pro-black shit if you ain't taking it all away. Don't tell me boycott no damn NBA. Like I said, talk to me about that bank. Talk to me about that hospital. Talk to me about that school. Talk to me about that grocery chain. Talk to me about that. That's what I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about how the Jews. I understand why they don't want to do that. Because we talk a good one, bruh.
We don't walk
like
that.
I got respect. You know that sorry nigga Charles White.
Mm-hmm.
He be taunting all these niggas and I think he's like I think Bootsy said or some niggas said he working for the government because he trying to get niggas locked up. You talking shit about niggas knowing they gonna come at you, and you saying when they come back when you talk shit about them and they threaten you, you CC in the police department. And he tell me, no, listen, that nigga keep it real. He said, I'm CCing the police. When y'all say that shit, you threaten me or you come at me, I'm telling the police, I'm CCing the police department. He done pepper sprayed 2 or 3 niggas that done try to come at him. And he say, I don't like it. Some of the shit he say is real, but he's saying a lot of crazy ass shit too. And why you taunting niggas? You trying to get, I believe you are working with the government. You trying to get niggas locked up. But guess what? Guess what? He's standing on what he says. He's not apologizing to nobody. He's saying, fuck you niggas. He said, I want all you rap niggas locked up. He said, lock them all up. Boosie told Boosie's son, lock them up. He told T.I.'s son, lock that nigga up. He said, lock all them niggas up. He said, Lil Charles White. You man, come on, bro. Come on. I can't believe you don't know about Charles White.
Crazy.
Look it up. That nigga is saying some crazy ass shit, but
we gotta
understand.
Come on, we gotta have.
Back in the day, he was a real nigga. Back in the day, he was a real nigga, and he's saying now, like I don't like all the shit he's saying because he's taking it too far. Because he sounds like Uncle Rusky. He sounds like Uncle Ruckus. Remember that? Remember Uncle Ruckus from that cartoon? From that cartoon, that black cartoon with the little boy, what the hell is that cartoon, man?
That shit, that same cartoon that Jay had in his video.
He had the little boy. The little boy was a gangster. One was a militant, was a gangster, and their granddad was raising them. And they had this nigga Uncle Ruckus that lived in the neighborhood. And he liked the nigga that played that wasn't played in Django. He liked the Django nigga. Like
you talking about
Master
Boondocks cartoon?
Yeah. That nigga Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus. So this dude Charles White, he sound like him sometime. He sound like him. So check him out. Look, man, we done went too long. We done went damn near an hour with this here. I don't like to go too long with them. I like people to really watch these.
Right.
we going up on an hour.
Short attention spans.
That's what it is.
They got very short.
I was thinking about trying to keep these to like a half an hour or something like that. But like I get
you gotta get one of them big or BBL walking. She gotta keep walking back and forth, and people will stay on. You gotta keep with the booty.
Yo, that's part of the strategy. Yo, I was looking. It's so funny you brought that up too, man. Yo. Because you gotta figure a way if you want to really blow up on this social media, you gotta find a hook. You gotta find something that's gonna grab people's attention. And at the end of the day, the real talk, it's all the negative shit. it's all the negative shit.
reel them in with the negative BS that they like, but when they get in there, it's trickers, but they hooked already. So you know what I mean? But yeah, it's the negative. The negative. It's crazy. That's the sad part. You know what I mean? But
look, people like you and me keep talking about. Go ahead.
Now I was going to just say, I know.
No, I was going to just say.
I just want to say.
No, I was just going to say one thing.
Together, we need to come together.
Yeah, me and people.
Build.
Absolutely. And me and people like me and you keep talking about this. Like right now, we may not be that big, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. I'm trying to learn this social media thing and these algorithms and how to make shit go viral. And knowing me, I'm gonna figure it out.
Got y'all, cause what I'm doing, just like all these fools is doing their little stunts, I'm doing my PR stunt. I'm gonna raise the Titanic just to sink that shit again. I don't care. No.
I hear that. Yo, bruh, it was good talking to you. We said a lot of shit even before we got on here, but we said a whole lot right now, man. I appreciate you jumping on here with me. You know, I was getting ready to do this anyway, and it made it more fun having you on here, bro. And look, man, like I said, I known you, you know, most of your life. We've been dealing with each other off and on for over 20 years, man. Damn near 25 years, bro. And that's a long time, man. And we still grinding, and that's what's important. So look, with that being said, man, you have a good night, man. Be safe, for real. And I'm out.
Same. Peace. Be safe.
Peace. One. Yo, don't hang up.